Welcome back, college football. We're back, baby. Let's freaking do this.
Arch Manning steps up, pumps, flips it out, to Boston. Touchdown! Lejano. With some time, he's going to throw it deep, has a man wide open, Kel Crowdis, and he takes off running up the middle, first down, inside the 35, he's going to go! Harry Coleman! Up the defense, Lahar throws a nice ball. He's 16, and now going deep for Smith, who makes the... Constantly in the film room, watching a lot of film of offensive linemen back. He throws wide open, Curtis Jones has it, and has a touchdown! 30.
Hey there, guys. What is up? We are back, baby. College football season is officially here. College football is officially back, man. And welcome to the one night a year that you guys always look forward to here on the MI6 Sports Network, as well as the IM6 Network, which is our college football preview special. And tonight is that night. I mean, we've got representatives from all over the globe coming in. We've got, folks, we are flying in from Pullman, Washington here tonight. We are galloping in from Boise, Idaho. We are bucking and trucking from Columbus, Ohio. We are growling and stampeding in from Ann Arbor, Michigan. We are rocking and rolling from Pennsylvania. And we are also riding in from a Trojan horse from San Jose, California. So we've got everywhere across America covered here tonight here on our college football preview special. Football is back. And oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot this. But we are riding a boat, riding the rainbows from Honolulu, Hawaii. So yes, we are all set and ready to go for our 2025 college football preview special, y'all. Football is officially back. I'm like Drew Aller here. We are officially back and in full swing. It's going to be an exciting season. Cannot wait. I might have some co-hosts join me later on in the program, but right now we're just going to be riding solo here tonight for right now. Welcome in once again to our 2025 college football preview special. I'm your host for tonight, Isaiah Young. If you guys like what you guys are watching, or if you don't, even if you don't like it, you know, we like our haters, we like our followers, we like everybody. So go ahead and give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us some comments. You know, we'll read it live from the comments section. But yes, once again, welcome in to our 2025 college football preview special show here tonight. This is honestly one of my favorite nights of the year. Like I said, I am a huge college football fan. I love me some college football. So whenever the season is about to kick off, and we're doing a special show, well, then that's what I live for. So, we have a big show planned for you guys tonight. We're gonna get into some opening kickoff questions, and then we'll get into some of our team predictions, and then we will get into conference predictions for all the conferences, as well as our national champion and college football playoff team prediction, coaching carousel, and also we're also gonna do some college football week 1 pick'em as well. So guys, get your popcorn ready, get your soda ready, get your team gear ready, because I know I got a lot of team gear ready. It's going to be a great show. Cannot wait for the program here tonight. But folks, let's get into it, man. Let's get into this great show. We've got, like I said, a jam-packed program ready for you. But folks, let's get into it. What a crazy offseason in the world of college football. We had a really crazy offseason that featured a very stunning and historic move in the world of college football. But before we get into that, I do want to say this and start with this, that this is going to be Saturday's College Game Day will be the final show for the legendary Lee Corso, as he is going to retire after so long on the air with ESPN and with College Game Day. I just want to say this. Lee Corso has been an absolute legend in the world of college football. His headgear picks is so legendary. It's just so much fun to watch, to wake up to every single Saturday morning when you turn on game day before the college football games kick off. And honestly, like, the show the last few years hasn't been the same because he just hasn't been on the entire show. He's been on sparingly because he suffered a really serious medical condition, and it really limited him. But he fought through it, and he somehow managed to go back onto the program. But when you think about Lee Corso, you think about College Game Day, right? You think about the headgear, you think about all that stuff, the hey, not so fast, my friend. You think about those things, just those great moments that he provided to us, his sweet remarks on the game of college football. And I'm definitely going to miss him. I'm definitely going to miss the headgear and stuff. Even if McAfee or Kirk Herbstreit decides to put on the headgear, it just won't be the same. And, it just isn't going to be the same. And I'm definitely going to miss him for sure. And, it just sucks that, you have to grow old in life. It's one of those things that, you can't control, but it just sucks that Lee Corso, this is going to be his final show. And I'm kind of getting emotional about it, as we welcome my guy, James Gonzalez.
Hey.
He's somewhere. I think he's got trapped in the bunker somewhere. We trapped him in a bunker and made him do tonight's show. That's what we made him do. But James,
time permitting,
exactly. But James, like I was telling the audience, we've got the entire globe covered. And what I mean is this: we're flying in from Pullman, Washington, in for tonight's program. We're galloping in from Boise, Idaho. We are riding the rainbows from Hawaii into the program tonight. We are, we're bucking from Columbus, Ohio.
Excuse me?
Yes, we are growling and, coming in from Ann Arbor, Michigan. And my guy, Drew Aller, and Penn State are riffing as well. I tried to find some Georgia gear, but I couldn't find it, unfortunately. But how are you doing tonight, my friend?
Tired, busy. You know, we'll do like the team predictions or whatever, but I'm not really looking forward to USC this year. There's really nothing to look forward to, but trying to figure out how to do this. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday. I don't care about the Thursday games really. I don't care about any other game except Thursday. I'm sorry, except Saturday. Just can't wait to get to, probably like two of those games, and then Monday there's one. I think there's some on Sunday too. But you want me to go from here? I know
Yeah,
you had
before
Lee
you,
Corso.
yeah, we're talking
Were you
about
talking about him?
Yeah, because it's his last show. I
Oh,
was
on
just trying to
Saturday, huh?
Yeah, against Texas and Ohio State. He's going to be there. But yeah, what is your, I guess we'll start with this then. What is your thoughts on Lee Corso retiring and that Saturday is going to be his last show?
Well, I'll be honest with you, and it's gonna sound awful. I never really watched when he was doing it. Um, my first exposure to him was NCAA like '07 college football game from EA Sports, and he would be in there with like Herb Street and Nestler. And I just noticed this dude would put like the mascot or the helmet on of whatever team he predicted. And it's just crazy because he was one guy that a lot of people at times did not want him to pick their team, their college. It was meant to be bad luck at times. Maybe he had a bad streak or something, but he really knew his stuff. I remember last year when Indiana had its renaissance, his name and his pictures always kept coming up because that was the last time Indiana was really, really good, was when Lee Corso was there. And that was like, what, the late 60s, early 70s, I think it was. And it was something like that. But he went on to other places, but then he found his niche here with, College Game Day on ESPN for goodness. When I want to say since the late 90s, I think he was doing it. I can't remember because again, I didn't really
80s,
watch him
actually.
the 80s.
1987, I think was
That
his
really, wow. That's probably when they were like that's when NFL prime time started. So they were really starting off at ESPN. You know how they're taking everything now, pretty much ESPN. They were just trying to get shows going, and they had Dick Vitale at that time. When you think about that, Tom Jackson and Pete Axel and Robin Roberts, they had all the great people at ESPN. But with Lee Corso, you could just kind of tell that it was his time eventually, that he was going to have to retire. He couldn't travel as much, like he needed help going back and forth. But yeah, he'll always be remembered for the mascot heads and maybe you didn't want your team getting predicted by him. And then I think his main thing was like, hey, I'm leaning for this team, but wait. Or I forget what he would say. And then he would throw that mascot head away and then pick the other one. Like totally just like, make a surprise out of things. That I remember that was his thing.
Don't forget about the not so fast, my friend.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. My bad. But not so fast. And he gets the other mascot and puts it on, and everybody boos, especially if it was like the home team that was hosting it. I was just thinking about the places they've been to, like Division II schools. I remember I think they went to North Dakota State one time, I want to say. But yeah, it kind of sucks having like the legends retire eventually, and it's just another one to do that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It sucks that, life is, you grow older in life, and it just sucks that, you have to sometimes fade away, and it really sucks. But James, I'll give you the floor because we got an
Oh boy.
interesting show ahead. We got a great jam-packed show to look forward to, and so the floor is yours, man. Take it away, and let's do this thing.
Well, we're gonna start off here with the team prediction segment for our teams. Now, you have about what in the intro that you had about 30 of them represented. I have just one. Like, I'll follow the San Diego State Aztecs because they're local, but they're not that good. They're not going to be good this year. They're going to be irrelevant again. They might be 3-9 again. The last year in the Mountain West, and then eventually they'll go to the not Pac-12 that is called the Pac-12, which is lame as hell. But my college team, of course, in all the sports, are the USC Trojans. And funny that you mentioned it. They had a picture in the old women's basketball gym of like one person represented each sport, and it was 23 different 23 different people dressed in their uniform. So just imagine that, and they're all holding up the Fight On a victory sign up. But anyway, USC football, it's what, the fourth year of Lincoln Riley, I want to say, or third year. No, I think it's the fourth year. He's not going to be bought out. He's not going to be gone anytime soon. So you just know that's not going to be the case. But he's there. And it just seems like they're going to be middle of the pack. It doesn't seem like they're going to be like anything special, to be honest with you. It never is going to seem like that with USC. But they probably get 7 or 8 wins, maybe that, but nothing that really sticks out to you. I think they're slated to have 7.5 games according to FanDuel, but 7 or 8, maybe. The ceiling would be 9. I'd be really, really amazed if that would be the case. They improved slightly on defense. They got Jaden Malavia from UNLV, the transfer. But it's going to be a tough schedule. I mean, they got games against Michigan, at Oregon, Notre Dame. Comes to the Coliseum. Notre Dame always wins. They always win. Defense, they're going to have to do well with the pass rush. Again, with Malava in his second year, he's already kind of taken the reins from the half of last year. But the schedule, again, the away games, look at this. At Champaign, Illinois, Notre Dame, Oregon. That's just going to be very tough, I think. And again, 7 to 8. You do what USC will always have are those receivers, right? So Malachi Lemon, Jacoby Lane are the two to look at. They lost one in the transfer portal that went to one. It was one of the ones I heard today, but it just doesn't seem like they're going to
Zachariah Branch, he went to Georgia.
Thank you. That's what I was. Yeah, I really wanted to keep him, but you know how it is now with the NIL crap, and
I think his brother also transferred with him to Georgia too. The other branch.
It just doesn't sound good. But let me quickly look at the schedule here, just to see where everything is. They start off with Missouri State at the Coliseum, which should be an easy game, along with Georgia Southern. Those two games, really? And then they're away at Purdue. They're home against Michigan State. Away at Illinois. Home against Michigan. That'll be fun. Away at Notre Dame. Oh, it's away at Notre Dame this year. Okay, never mind. Away at Nebraska. In Nebraska, I'm wondering if they're going to be improved anymore. I know that quarterback, what was his name? Riola? He's trying to be Pat Mahomes. They're home against Northwestern, home against Iowa, who a lot of eyes are on Iowa, and then away in Oregon, and then back home against UCLA to end the year. Anyway, I see them getting 7 wins, and again, being in a conference that they don't deserve to be in or shouldn't be in, let's just say, they're gonna have a hard time again with the Big Ten, and it's not looking good. Let's see. Oh, John Alcorn's here. What's up, John?
Glad to be here, man. So, good. I didn't want to. I'm just listening, man. But yeah, it's gonna be a good year for USC. Maybe.
Yeah. They have to overachieve in order to be anything. So yeah, maybe 7 wins, and then one of those like Las Vegas Bowls, like they always go to, or what's another one? Like they don't
Holiday
have the
Bowl.
Foster Farms.
Pop Tart Bowl or something.
Something like that. You know, the ones out here that it used to be, you know, like the Cheez-It Bowl, Foster Farms Bowl, you know, something like that. Sun Bowl. That's always remember like the underachievers of the Pac-12 would go, but now they're part of the Big Ten, so they could go anywhere when you really think about it. So hopefully there's a bowl game. I mean, the standards, the expectations have to be lowered with USC. I think a lot of people finally realized that last year. And then with all the transfers leaving and with little that came back or came into the program, this ain't the USC that, you know, like I loved and grew up with or kind of grew up with. But let's see. Let's go to Isaiah because I know. Well, what is your team? I
The
guess
one on the
here,
screen, James. The one on that
It depends on how he's feeling.
yeah, Georgia. I guess. Isaiah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the last few years honestly has been a disappointment for Georgia just because like we're used to winning national titles and you know the year before last year, you know, Georgia fell short obviously. They lost to Alabama in the SEC championship game and they missed the playoffs because it wasn't expanded. It was only 4 teams. And then last year we did beat John Alcorn's Texas Longhorns a couple of times, which was so fulfilling. But
fun game.
Yes, fun game. But we ultimately was just too injured, you know, just one of those years where everybody was hurt, you know, offensive linemen were going down left and right. The defense hasn't been great the last couple of years. You know, when you think about Georgia, you think about a team that's really stingy on defense, but the last couple of years they've averaged 35 points given up, over 350 yards of offense to the opposing team. And that's not like a Kirby Smart standard defense. So for Georgia to get back to their winning ways, they have to get better defensively, I feel like, and get back to their the old ways of playing defense there. The quarterback, you know, we have Gunnar Stockton, who is taking over for Carson Beck, who transferred to Miami. You know, he's a guy that has played 2 games, which is against Texas in the SEC championship, which he showed a lot of toughness because I don't know if you guys remember, but he got hit really hard on that one play where he ran it and he got like smacked. Helmet came off. You thought he got concussed on the field. But the dude came back after I think like one play and came back onto the field, which showed a lot of toughness. But you know, I haven't really watched him play too much because he's only played 2 games, so you can't really like judge him from that 2-game sample size. Against Notre Dame, with Georgia playing a lot of backups on their offensive line. You know, he was under a lot of pressure. He made a lot of bad decisions. I think he threw a couple of picks in that game. So passing wise, I think is a work in progress. We know he can run the football, but for Georgia to get back to their winning ways, he's going to have to, I think, be a better passer than he was last year. And also, they have to run the football because Georgia has unfortunately gotten away from running the football and playing defense. They've, instead become a team like Ole Miss, which is throw the ball like 40 times a game and then have a subpar defense. For Georgia to get back, they gotta get back to playing great defense, and they gotta get back to playing bully ball, and that is just running the ball down people's throats. I look at their schedule right now, like they're opening up with Marshall. If they lose to Marshall, Kirby Smart should be fired on the field. If they lose to Austin P, Kirby Smart shouldn't be banned from entering the state of Georgia for the rest of his life. So they should start 2-0. But then comes the gauntlet, fellas. They play at Tennessee, which is always tough because Tennessee's even though Tennessee, the team might not be that great, that place is a really tough place to play. And then Alabama comes to Georgia. Alabama's been Georgia's kryptonite the last 3 to 4 years. Then they play, Kentucky, which is not bad, but it's at home. At Auburn. Auburn's not great, but playing in Auburn for some reason, Georgia always has a tricky time playing there. And then they play at Florida. And, Florida, the thing with Florida is I don't know how good that they're going to be this year. They have a great quarterback, but the rest of the team is just kind of an unknown. Mississippi State should be an easy win. And then the game that is like the most toughest on our schedule is when Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns come into Athens, Georgia. Look, I just feel like for Georgia, like that game, they got to get after Arch Manning like they did against Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning both times last year. It's in Georgia, which does help us a lot. But if I had to point out three games, it's probably the Texas game. That's number one, then the Bama game, and then the Tennessee game. But yeah, I think that if looking at the schedule, I probably will say like 10-2, 10-win team. Maybe 9-3, but if you're 9-3, there's going to start to be some, I feel like, questions about Kirby Smart because you haven't, Georgia is used to winning and winning championships, and like when you haven't won in a couple of years, and there's going to start to be pressure. So I'll probably say like a 10-win team, depending on how the defense plays and how the quarterback plays as well.
Yeah, looking at that schedule, and it's cool to have Texas late in the year. They have to go through the gauntlet of, the conference they play in the SEC. You're just wondering about the rest of the conference, about Auburn, about Ole Miss, Florida. A lot of people hyped on Florida this year. But of course, Texas. But yeah, right away, when you talk about not the first two games, but Tennessee, going there, supposedly they're going to be better. That place is always rocking. But man, Bama, you wonder if they're going to be the same. But I'll tell you, I'll ask you this quickly, Isaiah. How confident do you feel in the new quarterback with Georgia after Carson Beck?
I feel like he was better than Carson Beck last year, but I just feel like, it's a small, a small benchmark to be better than Carson Beck because Carson Beck late in the season, like, I don't know what happened with him. Maybe he was partying too much. Maybe he was out with his girlfriend that he ultimately followed her to Miami. Maybe he was out too much with her because he was throwing and John knows this, he was throwing interception after interception after interception after interception. I think he averaged like
three a game.
He averaged like 3 a game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're a quarterback, if you have one game where you throw 3 interceptions, like that's a horrific game for you. He was doing that every single game from game number 6 on to the rest of the season. So I think he will be better than Carson Beck. He's definitely more mobile than Carson Beck, but he's not really that good of a passer. So in the SEC, you have to be at least decent as a passer to be able to win. Like, if you want to get away with not being a good passer, you have to be like Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel in terms of mobility. But I just think, for me, it's just kind of like wait and see because I don't really know much about him because I've only watched him play like 2 games for Georgia.
I'm also worried about their running game. No, they lost a little bit as of late. And then you think about their defense and what they've lost in the NFL draft. So that's two kind of pressure points, I think, for Georgia. You know, they're on a standard right now, but this year is going to be an ultimate test. Speaking of that, the Texas Longhorns, with Arch Manning taking over, Ewers going to the NFL and not doing well in the preseason for Miami, with the Dolphins there. Lots of players who left for the NFL. Man, you just wonder how much pressure is on Arch Manning and if he feels it or if he's going to be calm, cool, and collected like the Manning family with football will be. We'll see how great he's going to do and with all the changes and all the new players. John, last year, obviously, getting back and getting into the thick of things, getting into the playoff and advancing was great. You had a taste of it, and you must want more now as you get into the Arch Manning era. But let us know, your predictions here about the Texas Longhorns, and if they are favored, will they win the whole damn thing?
The one thing I said on my show earlier is the biggest thing that sets the tone for Texas this year is Ohio State and Georgia. If we beat Ohio State, Georgia's going to have to be that tone, because if we beat Georgia, that sets the tone to me how far we go into the playoffs, because Georgia was our kryptonite. We couldn't do nothing. You would have thought Stevie Wonder was our offensive coordinator because we had literally no answers for the defense. And that's with the Carson Beck. Like what Isaiah said, he was throwing 3 to 4 picks a game. You would have thought he worked for Pillsbury Doughboy. Just look at their schedule. It's kind of like some of these games, like you said, for USC, right? Where obviously Ohio State's going to be a really tough team. Then San Jose State, UTEP, I guess they have fans. Sam Houston will be at that one. Florida, I think, is going to be a tough one. I'm not on like this crazy hype with DJ Lagway, but I think he's going to be a lot better, especially how they turned around the season last year. So at least it gives it some interest in the Florida. Again, I'm not rooting for any other SEC team besides Texas. Like you have to shoot me in the foot to even be considered to root for Georgia. But like I said, for Isaiah, for Georgia, even I understand it's only 2 games. So obviously, you never want to go say he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But in the biggest moment possible, he delivered. And not only that, that to me should have been those calls against that and against Arizona State. Those should have been calls immediately. I'm glad they weren't, but we still lost. But he delivered. It's good that Carson Beck is gone. I mean, he lost his starting job. He lost his girlfriend. He was cheating on. I mean, guy, good. Let him go. Have a good time over there with $8 million. But overall, I think it's really going to set the tone as Ohio State and Georgia, because it's enough of the hype. I don't care about the hype. Like I'm hyped for Texas and Arch Manning, but then there's this level of like hype where even Arch Manning can't even reach. So like, there's so many people that are hyped to act like he's gonna throw for 7,000 yards and 80 touchdowns. They're like, let's relax, right? We're not focused on the Heisman. We're focused on the Natty, and we're coming for you at Georgia. And I promise you, with this team this year, okay, this team, a lot better, because the biggest factor is having a mobility, not of viewers, but of Arch Manning. I think it'd be great. But last point, I think the trap game, I'm not saying trap, I think the Florida game will be a lot more interesting than people think. We'll still beat Florida. But the biggest issue with Texas last year was that you were barely beating teams that you should have blown out. Arkansas, Florida, we beat them, but it took a defensive miracle. I mean, dear Lord, that was Florida. They won't even look like they were contending for the toilet bowl. How the heck were we barely beating them by 10 points? It should be a good year. I look forward to the A&M game here at Texas. I do wish we could play USC eventually again, but I think it'd be a good year. But I think at some point, like, I'm done with the hype. I'm just ready for the results.
Yeah, it's gonna be man, the expectations are huge right there. You really hope that if you're a Texas fan that all this hype, that you're able to hit on it and then ultimately win. I know defensively they have couple young players. There's one standout player. I forget the linebacker's name, but he's going to be, you know, um, leading that defense there. I just wonder with the weapons that they have offensively, is it going to be enough for Arch Manning? Is he going to have to go all out? Is he going to ball out? It's just something we're going to have to, I think, all figure out, and we'll
We
see what
just
happens.
recently got a transfer from another big player on the offensive line. So I think it should be interesting. But yeah, I think you're right. Offensive line is going to have to be the biggest deal against Georgia.
And that's going to be a lot of fun seeing, how Arch Manning again takes that pressure and see if he could do it. And everybody's like, okay, let's just see if he could do it. Let's stop hyping him up and let the play do the talking, basically. All right, Isaiah. I guess we'll get into the conference preview and prediction segment.
Okay.
We'll start off with the SEC, of course, and I don't think we have to name all the teams, but I'm guessing you just want to give, a little word about maybe the favorites and then who will ultimately win the conference.
Yeah, I think for the SEC, I think when you look at it, right, the SEC is always going to be stacked. That's just how the way it goes in life. I think that Georgia is going to be in that top of the race. You got Texas, obviously, with Arch Manning. You've got LSU with Garrett Nussmeier and Brian Kelly. They've revamped their offense as well as their defense. Florida with DJ Lagway, they're going to be in the race. I'm not as hyped as a lot of people are about Florida. I think that they have a great quarterback. I don't know about the rest of the team. And then, when you look at it the rest of the way, James, I think when you look at the SEC, Arkansas, Sam Pittman, their head coach, he's a really funny guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a lot of sayings. He get me my beer or whatever. Or no, turn that damn jukebox on or whatever. He's a great guy, but I don't know if he's a great coach. Arkansas, I feel like, James, they just reached that plateau where it's 7 wins for them.
They'll never get higher than that.
Yeah. But the thing is, Arkansas fans want more. So if they don't get to 6 or 7 wins this year, because last year was a struggle for them to even get to 6 or 7 wins, Pittman might be gone. He's one of the coaches on the hot seat there in Arkansas, which sucks because he's kind of like Ed Orgeron, where it's he's not.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yep.
Yeah, he's not really good at schemes, but he's good at motivating the team and creating a culture. So Arkansas, they're kind of a mess. Oklahoma, Brent Venables can coach defense. The problem with OU last year was the offense. They brought in the quarterback from Washington State. His name is John Mateer. They brought in the offensive coordinator from Washington State last year. I don't know, to be honest, James, I don't know if that quarterback from OU will actually play because apparently he's under investigation for some betting scandal.
Oh, damn.
Where he Venmoed money to a friend and it said this is money for USC's touchdown, but then he said that it was a joke, but you literally said on the Venmo that that's what that was. So I don't know, but Ole Miss lost Jackson Dart, but they have Lane Kiffin, who's a great mind. But ultimately, James, I think that for me in the SEC, I think ultimately, like you said, it's going to come down to Georgia versus Texas. And I just think Georgia's going to win because I think the style of play that Georgia has, it just owns Texas and Steve Sarkisian. Kirby Smart knows what Sarkisian's going to run from his days at Alabama. And, Arch Manning, I've never been the biggest Arch Manning fan. I think he's so overhyped. I think he's kind of overrated in a little bit of ways. Everybody's thinking this guy's going to be the second, the next superstar because he's got the Manning family in his name. Dude, let's pipe down on that. He's a decent quarterback. He can run the ball pretty well. I don't know about his passing abilities. I think he's the same as Gunnar Stockton. So I'm going to go with Georgia to win it. I think that Georgia beats Texas again in the SEC championship to win it. Sorry, John, but I'm going to say this as well. I think Alabama has a down year, James, and I think Kalen DeBoer gets let go in Alabama. I'm going to go with the hot take on that. I think like if they go 9-4 and miss the playoffs, like I don't see a way where he can keep his job because the pressure is going to be too high.
I think this is gonna be weird saying for Alabama, but it's kind of like what I said with USC, where it's like, okay, you kind of have to temper expectations. I know that's hard to do in Alabama because there's nothing else really. So, yeah, they're obviously on the falling down part of really being a winner. Like they used to be. Once, and I have Texas winning the SEC, but I want to see if Vanderbilt can build from last year. I think that was fun last year, especially when they beat Bama, at home. I think they have the stadium done now, and I think it'd be cool if Vanderbilt showed up a little more. But Tennessee is going to be tough, of course, and LSU. Look at them, right? They can score the hell out of the ball, but they can't defend anybody. They're going to be in a lot of shootouts. But in the end, they're not going to have that guy that makes that big defensive play, or they're looking for it, right? Georgia, again, it comes down to the new quarterback, and then it comes down to all the people who are there who are new. That's going to be tough. And again, Alabama seems like they're trending down. Florida, there's a lot of hype there, but it's got to match where they overachieve and be on the status of the top. But yeah, I got to go Texas winning that. I believe they're hype, even though I don't know. The ACC. Now this one seems tough. And I sent you the wrong ACC, by the way. But the ACC, for me, this screams Clemson. To gain back their dominance, right? With Dabo Swinney, they have one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. They have a top 3 quarterback. You wonder about North Carolina with Belichick now. Miami, will they ever get past the note there? See if Georgia Tech can maybe turn some heads. They did right away last year. They beat Florida State, who's on really a downfall. I mean, Florida State, they almost remind me of like the Raiders almost, where it's like they have the brand name, but they just fall. Duke is a team to look out for too. I'm saying that right now. But for me, I'll go Clemson. I think they won that last year too. But
which was a surprise too.
Yeah, I think maybe they overachieved in people's eyes. But as long as you got Dabo Swinney, he can motivate the cats. He make him play better. I got to go with the Tigers. What do you think here?
I think that it comes down to 3 teams. I think that it comes down to Clemson. I think SMU, who was in that championship game last year, I think they take a step back. I think that Miami is going to be in that race because they have Carson Beck now. And I'm not the biggest believer in Carson Beck, but he's got some really good weapons around him. He's got a really good offensive line that returned 5 starters. The defense, I think, is going to be a lot better. And then, Mario Cristobal, the problem with Mario Cristobal is he's a good game coach when it comes to the first minute until 55 minutes. That's it. The first minute
That's not good.
55 minutes. The last 5 minutes, he's not really that good. I don't know if you remember, James, but he's the same guy that was supposed to be Georgia Tech, decided to not take 3 knees in that game when they could have won it. They wanted to get, I think, a running back more yards to complete. Like it was get him like 5 more yards, and then he would like break a record or whatever. They give the ball to the running back. The running back fumbles the football. Georgia Tech returns it for a touchdown, and Georgia Tech somehow wins the game. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think Miami's going to be in it. And believe it or not, I think I'm probably out of everybody on this network and out of everybody in the college football world, I'm a really big believer in Bill Belichick in North Carolina, because I think that Belichick, his acumen, his eye for talent is greater than every coach in college football. They have 40 transfers now. And if you look at the schedule, James, for North Carolina, it's extremely it's not difficult actually, because they have TCU to open the season, and that's going to be in Carolina. So if you win that game, then you play Charlotte, and then you play Richmond, which are two teams you're definitely going to beat. And then if you win those 3 games, you got UCF, who got Scott Frost back as their head coach, but UCF is going to be in transition. It's in Florida, though, but I think Belichick's going to have that team prepared. So potentially, if you win that TCU game, you could potentially be 4-0 going into a game against Clemson. And game day is going to be there.
That would be the big one.
That would be the big one, yeah. And that's at home in that's at UNC. So, and the rest of the schedule shapes out to be Cal in Berkeley, Virginia, Syracuse, Stanford. We know Stanford's not. I mean, they can't beat Hawaii. How are they going to beat Bill Belichick? Duke is in UNC. I think Carolina's honestly, I think Carolina shapes up to be a 2-loss team this season. But in terms of who I think is going to win the ACC, I think that I'm going to go with Miami. I think that they have that roster that's finally in college football, it's about your talent, and Miami has all the talent in the world. Can they put it together? Well, this year they have to put it together, and I think they will. But I think actually Belichick and Carolina will finish second. And I think Clemson will be third, but I think those are the 3 teams in that race. But speaking of the ACC, James, look at how many former NFL coaches that are now in that conference. You got Belichick at Carolina, you got Bill O'Brien at Boston College, and you've got Frank Reich at Stanford. And the thing with Stanford is, sadly, I don't know if they're going to win a game, to be honest, because they have a really tough schedule. Hawaii was their only winnable game on their schedule. They didn't win that one. But yeah, I'm going to go Miami, but I think Belichick and Carolina makes the playoffs as the second representative from the ACC.
Yeah, there's not a lot of talent in that conference. It's just going to be the top 3 basically there. But you're just hoping for some surprises. Now, this one is going to be pretty tough. Maybe, when you really think about it. The Big Ten, of course, it has the Trojans of USC, but you could kind of throw them into the bin that you don't want. When you really talk about the top of the conference, talk about the champions last year, Ohio State. Can't beat Michigan, but I think this year all that changes with all the sanctions and all the suspensions that Michigan has. The liars that have left for the NFL, the stories now, the bowl sanctions, the whatever. That's all going to come into play with their head coach from last year. Michigan, I think, will have a down year. They're going to be down there with, Nebraska, maybe again Rutgers. That was a cool story last year with Rutgers, though. They had a great renaissance here. Washington might be a team to look out for, and Oregon has a new quarterback, of course, since the other one left. I forget what his name was, Dixon, I want to say. But Penn State with Drew Allard. Man, he was airing that ball out. He was doing very, very well. That's the number 15 right there.
Maybe your future Raider quarterback, James.
Anybody else? Yeah. Indiana had that renaissance year, like we were talking about during the Corso segment. I don't know if that will repeat itself. That was a great story from last year. Illinois and Iowa are supposed to be improved this year. I mean, anything Iowa with their offense improving will be a positive. We remember a couple of years ago, Iowa had maybe the worst offense ever. I think it's about time that they do better. Now, Raiola, again, that quarterback from Nebraska who thinks he's Pat Mahomes, he's just full of himself. I don't know how really good he is. I don't think he'll ever bring him to a point where they're, any good. Northwestern's still playing in that makeshift little stadium on the lake. But Oregon, a lot of eyes are going to be on them. And then Purdue. Okay, Purdue is one of those teams to really look out for. They could even if things go their way, they could even take place of Michigan in the conference. A lot of hype on Purdue, but it comes down to Penn State for me. Can they win the big game? James Franklin, I think, is 20-18 against ranked opponents, I want to say. But when they really play, Ohio State, Michigan, the really big games, he can't win them. They can't win them. This might be the year if you have the right quarterback, if you have the right players. Maybe this is the year. But for me, I got to go Ohio State. My favorite college player right now who could play in the NFL right now, Jeremiah Smith. That dude, absolute beast. Dude reminds me of like Adrian Peterson, but as a wide receiver. He might not be the fastest, but he's pretty fast for a big dude like that. But that dude, he's a man among boys. I love watching him play. You saw what he did at the end of last year into the playoffs, into the championship games. He was awesome. And I think he continues that. They have the new quarterback saying from Carlsbad here down the way here in California. A lot of pressure is going to be on him, just like, the Arch Manning pressure, but not as magnified. But it'd be cool to have both of them meet, Ohio State and Texas again. But for me, who wins the conference, I'm going to say Ohio State. What about you?
I'm going to go with a hot take, James. You ready for this?
Uh-oh.
Give me Dylan Raiola and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I'm going with the hype, man. Raiola, he's trying to be Patrick Mahomes. Look, he played actually really good football in his freshman year. Like, they changed the offenses to fit him. They're running an air raid offense now. He was so much more comfortable in that offense. Matt Rule is a coach just like Mike Vrabel with the Patriots. He preaches toughness. He preaches grit. They build that offensive line. They have a bunch of starters return. I think all their offensive linemen from last year are returning, so that offensive line is going to be really good. The defensive line is going to be, I think, a question mark. But I think the rest of the defense is going to be pretty solid for Nebraska. Look, Nebraska was in a lot of games last season where they just didn't know how to win, and they choked it away. They almost beat Ohio State in Columbus. They almost, beat a bunch of teams, Michigan as well. But I think that Nebraska, I think this is finally the year for Nebraska and Dylan Raiola. You have a new, what's it called? You have a, second year quarterback now. He's finally got a taste of, how it's like to play in college football. The defense is going to be better. The offensive line, I think, will be able to keep him upright, and they'll be able to run the football extremely well. So, and I like Matt Rule. I think every time Matt Rule, believe it or not, James, Matt Rule, when it's in his third year at any school, whether it was at Temple, whether it was at Baylor, they always take that next step. So I think this is the year for Matt Rule and Nebraska to do big things, and I got them winning the conference.
Wow.
Penn State, yeah, I don't believe that hype, to be honest. Like, until James Franklin shows me that he can win a big game, I cannot trust him. And same as the quarterback. The quarterback is like James Franklin in terms of player form. Like, every time he's in a big situation, he's in a big moment, he finds a way to choke it away. Like against Notre Dame, you had a chance to win that game. You were at your 40-yard line. You just needed to drive down the field, get into field goal range, and you would win that game. But you know what he did? This dude decided to roll to his right and then throw across his body, which is a major no-no in football at any level of football. And obviously, it gets intercepted, which was a stupid play. Instead of, for some reason, he didn't throw it away. But I'm not a big believer in Aller. I don't believe in Penn State. I actually think Penn State will have 3 losses this season. I don't think that they're really that. I know they have so many starters returning and they have a lot of talent, but it doesn't, you can have talent, but it doesn't really mean anything if James Franklin continues to lose the big game. And I point to the game against Ohio State. I point to the game against Michigan and Nebraska, which I think are going to be the huge games for Penn State. If Franklin can beat Ohio State, I think that game, James, if you can look for me, that Penn State-Ohio State game, I think that's in Penn State. So if he can win that game, it's going to be like a true testament to the hype is real, but I just can't pick them until they actually do it. Michigan, I feel like they're too young. Bryce Underwood is a freshman. There's a lot of hype around him, and even Dave Portnoy paid him a lot of money to come to his alma mater. But I just think when you're a freshman quarterback, it takes some time to transition into college football. Ohio State, the defending reigning national champs, they got Jeremiah Smith, your favorite receiver, James. They do. But they lost a lot. They lost a lot of pieces.
They did. That's true.
They have a new quarterback. Their offensive coordinator is no longer Chip Kelly. He went to your Raiders, James. So I think this is a transition year, honestly, for Ohio State. I think they probably will. I think they'll lose like 3 games at least. And then Wisconsin with Luke Fickell, they have to win this year or else he's going to be gone. Michigan State is just trying to get back, from the downfall of things. Iowa, they have a great defense, but they can't score, unfortunately. Or when they do get into field goal range or touch, or when they get into the opposing team's area, they
red zone.
Yep. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cornhuskers. I think the Cornhuskers are gonna surprise people, and in Matt Rue's 3rd year, the trend is gonna continue, and the Cornhuskers and Dylan Raiola will do big things and win the Big Ten.
Okay, so Penn State's number 2 ranked in the nation. 1, of course, is Texas, as we stand right now. Ohio State versus Penn State. That's in Columbus. That is November 1st.
Even worse.
November 1st, so that's week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In week 8, Penn State will have to go to Columbus. So we'll know about Penn State, I think, definitely in that game, like you mentioned. That'll be their thing.
And Oregon lost quarterback too. Don't forget, Oregon lost Dylan Gabriel. So
Dylan Gabriel went on. He'll be behind for now. Flacco with the Cleveland Browns. Big 12. There's some interesting schools here. There's already 2 winners right now from week 0. You had Iowa State and Kansas both win their first games. I don't even know who the hell they played. Who cares? They
played each other.
They played they played Iowa State beat Kansas State. So Kansas State is 0-1. And then Iowa, of course, and then Kansas. I forget who they played. I didn't. Oh, they beat Fresno State. That's what it was. Okay, so they already got the upper hand, for whatever that's worth. There's a lot of schools here that I don't think are much approved. There's just one school that really stands out to me, and that's Arizona State. Remember, they are 13 or 16th ranked, I think, coming in. 14, 13, something like that. There's a lot of pressure on them, and they also lost a lot in the NFL draft. Scatterbull went to the New York Giants, their main running back who balled out. He was a lot of fun to watch. For me, Utah, they're finally going to have a quarterback they can rely to be on the field. No slate to... Oh, God, what was his name that was there for like 8 years? He was always hurt. He had the mustache like I had it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Ryder or something? Ryder?
Yeah. But he was always out, and who knows what could have happened with that school with him. For me, though, it's all Arizona State. And if not, Colorado's on a down year. West Virginia. Now, getting Rich Rod back, that's fun. It reminds you of the years that they were good with Pat White and Pat McAfee, among others. But it's going to be a couple of years before they really compete to me. This conference, though, Isaiah, seems really wide open. You got TCU. I don't know. But for me, I think Arizona State wins it. I don't know how to scramble this conference out for. But I say the Sun Devils win it. What do you say?
It's tough. I think Iowa State has a shot because Matt Campbell is a really good coach. He always has the Cyclones up in there. They have a good quarterback now. They run that NFL style offense, which for some reason works in the Big 12. Arizona State, I like Kenny Dillingham. I think he's a really good young up and coming offensive mind head coach there. He's a great fit there. They have a really good, they have a good quarterback. I worry though, James, about the weapons that are there. They did lose a lot, like you mentioned. Colorado, I think, might have a down year. I'm not really sure because they lost Shador, they lost Travis
Travis
Hunter.
Hunter, the other
Yep.
Sanders who just got cut by Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think
they're going to be on the down
so.
trot.
I think defensively they're gonna be good, but they're gonna have some trouble scoring points. Who is their quarterback, by the way? Do we know? Like,
On who? Or Colorado? I would have to look that up. No
it
one
might be
that
that
really stands out, of
freshman.
course.
It might be that freshman that came in. And you remember Shador gave him like the crown when he announced that he was
Oh,
coming.
that's right. Okay, Julian Lewis or Colton Allen or Dominic Ponder. I think that's who we're talking about.
No, I think it's Julian Lewis. I remember he went
Julian
on
Lewis. Okay,
and announced where he was going. Yeah.
but he hasn't even played. He's a freshman out of Georgia. I'll tell you one player that did though was Ponder. He played, I think, in 2023. Yeah, I think they're still trying to figure out who's. I think they would go with Allen, 6'3", 210. Probably throw the ball a little more than the other two. With Lewis, you're kind of looking for the speed there. It might be a thing, Isaiah, where all three play at one, at a certain time this year for Colorado. They're going to go in scramble mode, and then with Dion, with all the health issues he's had,
Oh yeah.
I hope he doesn't. Losing sucks, of course, especially with the Sanders family and all that. But hopefully he takes it easy this year, just knowing that maybe the expectations aren't as high without his family members there. But again, the Big 12, who'd you have?
I'm trying to look. I like TCU Sonny Dykes. That's a fun team because they always throw the ball like 60 times down the field. Rich Rod returning to West Virginia. That's a fun story. Kansas finally has a new stadium. So they.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a new stadium. So I guess like that should be fun to watch Jayhawks games in, but I don't know if the product on the field is that good. UCF with Scott Frost returning. Look, I think he's gonna really help get them. Like that's gonna be fun for them. But I gotta go with Arizona State as well. I think that like this conference is just kind of like anybody's race. There's really nobody that really stands out besides ASU. And also here's the thing. Oklahoma State, if they have another bad year, like we're talking like 3 wins or 4 wins, which I think that's likely, Mike Gundy might be gone because he was very close to being fired last year because he refused to make any like changes and restructured his contract and stuff. Like that took a long time for it to settle. He finally did, but they said like, look, they gave him I think a 1-year deal. So like if he has a down year again, I think Oklahoma State will be looking for another for a head coach for the first time in like 15 years.
Yeah, he got there I think in the mid 2000s. Remember, he was 40 back in 2007, I think it was. So now he's what, 58 years old.
Yeah.
Remember
he seems
his
like
whole
he's
rant?
Yeah,
it seems like he is. I'm a man, I'm 40. That whole thing. Really hasn't been, any. I don't know. They're gonna struggle. Let's just say it might be time for a change there. All right, the Mountain West. Not much here, right? Again, I mentioned San Diego State trying to get their offense going with their second-year head coach, but it's not going to be much there. Fresno already lost in that game against Kansas, 31-7, or they lost 31-7. No really school stands out to me. You had Hawaii with that field goal victory over Stanford. Then you had UNLV surviving at home against Iowa State. That, watching the highlights of that game, how back and forth it was, that was not the way that Dan Mullen wanted to start his tenure there, but they got the win, and you're playing a really, let's just say, poor conference other from Boise State. But if you're struggling with Boise State, how the hell are you going to play your conference? That's going to be the big question with UNLV and all their new players. For me, though, I got to go Boise State. They lose Janty, but I think they still have a solid team, a solid head coach. So I'm gonna go Boise State, the Blue Turf people. What about you?
I'm rocking and rolling with the Rainbow Warriors, Jay.
Oh boy.
Because this is the year that people in Hawaii have prayed for many years, because this team was in a rebuild because of the whole Todd Graham scandal and everything. So Timmy Chang had to build the program up from ground zero, and now the program is back to a level where they can compete finally. They've got, I think, the best quarterback in the Mountain West, and Micah Alejado, who got hurt last week against Stanford.
Dude's short, but he can move.
He's 5'10", by the way.
He can run down the middle like nothing, but I want to see that against the conference opponents. But he was fun to watch.
Yeah, he is. Like, he's really good at running. He's really good at throwing the ball as well. Yeah. But Hawaii defensively, I think, is going to be good. They finally got the quarterback situation, or they found the quarterback. I think the offense will be rolling. I look at the rest of the conference, though. Boise State, no Junty. I think they'll take a step back, actually, because Junty was their entire offense. I don't like that quarterback there. He's an interception machine there. UNLV, like you mentioned, Dan Mullen, the defense sucks. They gave up their defensive coordinator, by the way, James. You talk about how the mighty have fallen. Is Todd Grantham, your former Raider defensive coordinator? Or no, it's Paul Gunther. It's Paul Gunther.
Paul Gunther, I remember him.
Paul Gunther is the defensive coordinator of the UNLV Running Rebels, and they gave up like 500 yards of offense to freaking Idaho State. Like, I think they can score. They just can't defend anybody, which is going to be their main issue. You look at a team like Utah State, Bronco Mendenhall, James, the former BYU coach. He left New Mexico after 1 year to go back to Utah. So I think that's going to be a good story, but it's going to take some time to build up the program. Fresno State has a quarterback, and this shows you how old we are. Their quarterback is E.J. Warner, the son of Kurt Warner. He's a quarterback there. He threw a couple of picks.
Oh, that's right. Duh.
Yeah, he wasn't that good in his debut. San Diego State, you probably have a better gauge on them than I do.
Yeah, like I mentioned, they have their new coach from last year, and he's really trying to get them going offensively. Defense was their calling card, but check this out really quick with them. Two things I forgot to mention. They only had about 500 people come out to their, open practice. I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago. The hype on the team isn't there anymore like it used to be. Even with the new stadium, I think San Diego, the people have turned their attention to soccer and football and the Padres, basically.
Yep.
And always the beach, of course. But yeah, a lot of that attention that they used to have on San Diego State, it's gone. Like, I forget the number. I think they've lost 20,000 plus season ticket memberships.
Damn.
They've outpriced everyone. Like, I want to go to a game eventually, but it's not worth it with the prices. The non-talent that they have on the field is not worth it. They've had a lot of transfers leave, about 36, I think, new players. Just a lot of change. And it's only the second year of the new head coach. So they were a program that was supposed to be on their way up, and it just really hasn't happened. Remember, they were always good the last couple of decades, but not anymore. That's all gone. So you're gonna go Hawaii to win the conference?
Yeah, well, I also I want to throw one more team in there before I'll give it back to you. The one team that I do want to throw in there that I think will make things pretty interesting is Nevada. I really like their quarterback. Look, Nevada last year was decent, but look, their new quarterback, is the brother of Brock Purdy, Chuba Purdy.
Oh, that's right.
Six year, I think he's a fifth year senior. He's bounced around from Florida State, Nebraska. He was supposed to go to San Jose State, but then the coach got fired, so he transferred to Nevada. He's a guy that's really good at running the football. Like, he's extremely athletic. He kind of reminds me of and James, you're going to call me exceptionally crazy for this take, but he reminds me of a white Lamar Jackson, where he can run the football. He can't really throw. But I
Lamar
think that
can throw. What are you talking about?
no. Like, I'm talking about Lamar from
When he
like
first started?
yeah, where
Oh,
he was
okay,
just
okay.
super athletic and can run around and make people miss and stuff. But I think that he's gonna be able to make things very fun in Nevada and in Reno there. I think he can drag the Wolf Pack to probably like 8 to 9 wins, but I think they finish below Hawaii and Boise State. But that's gonna be fun to watch. Watch out for him though, in terms of like maybe NFL, because I could see the Niners. You know the Niners like their nepotism, so they probably will pick him up.
That's going to be interesting to look at. Again, that conference, whew, not much there, but you're hoping that a second team or third team kind of has fun, like you mentioned. All right, the American Conference. Now, last year we got to talk about two academies that had fun years, right? Navy, Army was ranked, more than half of the season. Just prominent again. Just a lot of fun. It was so great to see both. They threw the ball too, which was fun. Both schools. That was weird to see, but both schools, had great years. It was awesome. Going to this year, I don't really know. You got Charlotte, East Carolina, FAU, Memphis, North Texas, Rice, UCF. I thought they were going to be on a run, but they kind of fallen like San Diego State has. Tulane, Tulsa, Temple, UAB, the Roadrunners of University of Texas, San Antonio. We should do a game like that where you say the school, but I have to name the mascot. I would love
Oh
doing
yeah,
that,
yeah.
or the team name or whatever. I would love to do that. For me though, there's some talk on Tulane this year. I'm not even lying. I heard about them, but this seems like a wide open conference. I don't even know, dude. I would just say Navy wins it again. I think they did, but yeah, I guess I'll go Navy. What about you, Isaiah? I don't know.
For me, it's like I'm the same as you. I don't even know. Like, if you had to put a gun to my head and we're like preview this conference, I probably would tell you I have no clue. Like, I know that if you look at this, you have Memphis, South Florida, East Carolina, Tulane, like you mentioned. I think didn't Tulane win like 10 or 11 games just a couple of years ago?
I
I remember
cannot remember.
they were in a bowl game against USC. I remember that against Caleb, but
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and Caleb didn't even play, I don't think.
oh yeah, he
He
didn't
sat
play that
out,
game.
and
That's
they
right.
barely won, I want to say.
You know what? I'm gonna ride with the Green Wave
Pretty
because I just
play.
think that, like, I look at their schedule, they've got some prominent games. I think Navy and Army, like, I think they were such good feel good stories, but I just think they take a step back. They're normally not that great. It's about the consistency for me for them. East Carolina, they're gonna be garbage. Memphis is like, eh. I mean, Memphis is like they make some noise like here and there. UTSA makes some noise some years as well. Florida Atlantic's got a new coach, so they'll take some time to figure it out. But give me the Green Wave. The Green Wave has been they've been the model of consistency in that conference. So I'm gonna go with Tulane.
Yeah, I can't.
That was
I
hard.
it's tough to predict that. All right, so now let's get to the predictions of the 12 teams in the playoff. Now, the difference from last year to this year now, they've done it where the seeding is just straight on, right? The first four legitimate teams, I think, get the buys. I think it is now compared to last year,
right.
where I think the committee, um, you know, voted on it. Basically, I want to say, but that's different when you think about that, and that's only fair, I think. Uh, you had some of those first round games. Where it's like, ugh, I don't know about that.
But also,
But
what remains though, James? Sorry to cut you off, but
no,
is the team that there's the non-power five, like best non-power five team, they still get that automatic berth, but not a
as
top
it
like
should,
ever seed. Yeah.
as it should. All right. I'll let you go first on. You want to go first on this? Go
Yeah, I'll
ahead.
go first on this. So just to recap, my conference winners were Georgia and the SEC, Miami and the ACC, Nebraska and the Big Ten, Arizona State in the Big 12, Hawaii in the Mountain West, and then Tulane in the American Athletic Conference. I think for me, my number one seed is my number one seed. I'm gonna have to go with Georgia. I think they have a really good year this season. I think that they beat Texas, they beat Florida. I think they beat Bama finally. Kirby Smart finally gets over the hump there. So I got Georgia as my number one seed. My number two seed is I'm gonna go with Texas. I think that the Longhorns get that two seed, despite losing to Georgia in the SEC championship game. And I think Nebraska gets the three seed for me. And
Wow.
then yeah, I got the Cornhuskers getting the three seed. The fourth seed, shoot, the fourth seed I'm gonna have to go with Miami. For that fourth seed. The fifth seed is I'm gonna go with. Ooh, this is tough. I'm gonna go with shoot. I'm gonna go with Ohio State as my fifth seed, the defending national champs. My sixth seed is Arizona State. My seventh seed is, but this is tough though because like I'm picking all these teams for Hawaii to make the playoffs. They're gonna have to go undefeated or have one loss to be the best non-power five team, right? Um, but if
Yeah.
but here's the thing, James. Let's say this is gonna be the debate I think we're gonna have is if Hawaii goes undefeated, like I have them going with their schedule, do you put them over a two-loss Ohio State? Because they have the better record.
No, that's not how things work.
So like this is why I don't know, because are they going by record? Because if they're going by record, then Hawaii is gonna be the number
They
one
should go
seed.
by strength of schedule.
Okay, so they're going if they go by
They have
strength
to.
of schedule, okay, then shoot. Then I guess
And,
I have Hawaii as my seventh seed then because yeah,
yeah.
like you can't, you got to have that. Like they're gonna be undefeated in my book.
It sounds
Um,
like you have the new EA college football game, and you put in a rookie or some freshman or sophomore, and you have Hawaii making this run.
well, but they're gonna be the best like non-power five. Like
Yeah. Okay.
it's either gonna be the Mountain West or the American
Okay.
Athletic Conference. So it's gonna be one of those two.
Okay.
Shoot, I'm trying to
There's
think,
no way.
dude.
If
I think
Hawaii gets in the playoff, I'll give you $100.
give me $100. You got a deal live on here,
There's no way.
but dude, this is like we had talked about this with Boise State. Like you have to
It's
put them
different.
somewhere because they got a different like. Oh my gosh! So I got 5 teams left for the playoffs.
That's why I wish there wasn't 12. I wish there was just 8 or 10. This would
I
make
got
things easier.
oh shoot! I got 12 teams left. I guess you know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna go by seeding. I'm just gonna go by the 12 teams because this is way too difficult. I
Yeah.
got Georgia, Texas, Nebraska, Miami, Ohio State, Arizona State, Hawaii, and then I'll round things out with LSU. Um, LSU. I'm gonna go with Penn State. Um, I'm gonna go with Bill Belichick in North Carolina.
Mm,
11 and 12. Shoot, probably another Big 12 school.
I don't think Nebraska got votes for the rankings
No,
at all as I'm looking at it. Mm-mm. That'll be fun.
uh, Yeah, I'm gonna go with so Penn State and then the last two I gotta put Penn State. Then I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Oklahoma, and then I'm gonna go the last team. Oh my god, this is so tough, James. This is like incredibly tough. Who's in the I'm gonna go with Clemson. I'm gonna roll with Clemson.
Yeah.
I think the ACC gets 3 teams in. So Georgia, Texas, Nebraska, Miami, Ohio State, Arizona State, Hawaii, LSU, North Carolina, Penn State, Clemson, Oklahoma.
Okay, my first seed, I'm rolling with Ohio State. I got to roll with them. Second to me, this is tough. Second to me, you're trying to buy hype off of all the schools, but really you're like, nah, I don't think they'll go that far. Number 2, I'm going to go Penn State. Number 3 would be Clemson. I'm going to go number 4, Texas. Number 5, I'll go... Oh, God. I don't know about Notre Dame this year. Maybe they could keep trying
Forgot
to...
about the Fighting Irish too.
Yeah, they have to be in there. I'm going to go number 5. Number 6 would be Georgia. Number 7, I'll probably go LSU. Number 8 would be Oregon. Number 9 would be Miami. I don't see them going as far as others thinking. ASU would be 10 for me.
How about your
Alabama? I'm gonna go. No, they're gonna be out of it. I don't see Alabama in it.
you have to have a non-power 5 too.
Okay, that would be number 12 though. Number 11. I'm trying to buy the Illinois hype. I don't know.
No way, you're gonna pick Illinois.
No. I'm trying to buy what they're selling, but no. You know what? Number 11, I'm going BYU.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, the non-power 5. So that's what?
Boise, Navy.
I don't think they're going to be as good this year. They're not going to be as good. I want to go.
You can pick from another like non-power 5 conference.
Okay, let me go back. I'm gonna go. There's no way I'm gonna go freaking. What do you call it?
Hawaii. Come on, James.
There's no way.
How about Chuba Purdy in Nevada?
No. I was trying to remember where I was.
You had Boise and you had Navy as your non-power 5.
You know what?
No way.
Who did I say? Okay, hold on. Who did I say? No, I'm not going. That would be crazy if
You're gonna go Conference USA?
No, hell no.
Sunbelt?
I want to go Navy, but I don't think they're gonna have the same year. You know.
Well, it's the best non-power 5 that makes it.
All right. Mid America, no.
New Mexico State. Louisiana Tech.
Sun Belt Conference, JMU.
Why does college football have to do this to us?
Tulane.
Dude, you picked Navy over Tulane.
I'm gonna switch.
Okay, switch.
No. You know, no. I'll go Navy. Yeah, I'll go Navy. Never mind. Yeah, I'll go Navy. So that would be my 12. But again, I think even 12 is too much.
That Ohio State Navy game is absolutely going to be crap.
That's why I don't. Well, don't they get the first 4 bye?
Oh yeah. So you would have what?
Yeah. So
Who's
it'd
your
be the
15?
5 versus 12,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Let's go to the national.
National championship game, the matchup, and who wins. For me, it's obvious, right? I'm going. I'm. Oh, I have like the top 5. I have 5 teams, 5 schools, right? That can make it, of course. Like 5 legitimate teams, right? Ooh. I'm gonna go. Jeez. I don't believe in Georgia. You know what? Nah, I'm going to Ohio State over. It depends what happens Saturday, you know?
Yeah, that's a big telling game right there.
Ohio State over Clemson. That's going to be my national championship. I believe that much in Clemson this year, but I don't believe him over Jeremiah Smith. They're going to have to double him, put some zone on him. Yeah. Okay. Ohio State over Clemson. What's your national championship? Oh, the score would probably be like 31-20. Ohio State over Clemson. How about you?
Okay, that's a good one. This is gonna be tough. I got a hot take for the playoff. I think that North Carolina makes it farther than a lot of people expect. I think they make it to. I think they make it to the semis, but I don't think that they. I think the lack of like the top talent, I think will bite them. But I think they do make it to the. I think they make it to the what's it called, the semis in Belichick's first year.
That would be something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go like with a. I'm gonna. The thing is, Georgia. It depends on the defense, like we talked about. The quarterback Stockton hasn't played a lot of big games. Ohio State lost a lot. Texas, I don't believe in the hype. Penn State, don't believe in them. Nebraska, I think it's going to be a little bit too young. So, oh my gosh, James, I'm going to go with a crazy prediction right here. I'm going to go with LSU versus Miami as my national championship game. I think then with Miami, you got the all-star roster. You got all the talent in the world. Now is the time to win it. And then LSU with Brian Kelly. They got Garrett Nussmeier, who's projected as a top 5 pick. And, quarterbacks is everything in college football. They've got some really good playmakers there. Give me LSU to beat Miami to win the Natty. I'm going with Brian Kelly and LSU.
Miami.
Yeah, I think they have that. Well, they got the all-star roster this year. They paid like over $30 million in NIL for that roster.
That's gonna be crazy when they have their downfall middle of the season.
They have to win it, or they have to like do big things this year. So I'm going LSU, Miami. Can't trust crystal ball in a natty game, obviously. Give me Brian Kelly and LSU to win the national title. Big surprise there.
All right, that's gonna be fun. To wonder and imagine. College football.
You're lucky I didn't say Hawaii.
No, don't do that. All right, so what are the awards here? You got the Heisman Trophy winner. Now everybody's predicting to be Arch Manning, but Garrett Nussmeier, like you mentioned. But don't rule out Cade Klubnik of Clemson. Both, all 3 of those guys can throw the rock. For me, though, you know who I'm going with? Jeremiah Smith. I'm going with the receiver to win it for once. I think he's going to be, again, a man among boys. I think he's going to win that, not only that award, but he's going to win the Blitnikoff Award for the best receiver. All right. The best running back, I think it's the Doak Award, I want to say. That's going to be Jeremiah Love of Notre Dame. The best tight end will be Eli Stowers of Vanderbilt. Best quarterback, I think, will be Klubnik of Clemson, I'm going to say. Best defensive player, that's the Bronco Nagowski Award. There's some fine candidates here, but I'll go with T.J. Parker. He's the edge rusher of Clemson. For Coach of the Year, though, Coach of the Year, I got Dabble Sweeney. I
Okay.
think they're going to come back and they're going to have a great year. I'm sorry. Shoot. Yeah. Nussmeier, like, they have weapons and all that, but I think Klubnik probably better team quarterback than Nussmeier, let's just say. And Arch Manning, we don't know about yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's my awards. So what do you think?
This is tough for the Heisman. You know, the Heisman is basically all about like the stats of the quarterback. So Klubnik could do it. You know, Aller, obviously. Arch could be in that race. There's not really a lot of running backs this year, James.
That's why I went with the Notre Dame running back. There is
what is his name, by the way?
Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love, yeah, that's right.
Oh, not Jeremiah. Hold on, let me get that. Go ahead.
You have Ollie Gordon from what's it called? From Oklahoma State. But with us predicting that Oklahoma State's going to be bad, I just don't think a guy that's on a 3-win team can really like be in the Heisman conversation. You know, for me, I'm going to go with my Heisman, going with him right here. We can play the clip. Drew Aller, quarterback from Penn State. You know, I think he's going to put up a lot of numbers. I just don't trust him personally to win big games, but he puts up a lot of big numbers, and that's what the Heisman is all about. So I'm going to go with Drew Aller to win that one. I could see Raiola in that new air raid offense being in the mix as well. Nussmeier, obviously, Jeremiah Smith, Jeremiah Love, but I mean, quarterbacks always win these awards, so I'm gonna go with Drew Aller and Drew Aller to win the award.
I just want something different for sure. Who did I mention? Oh yeah, the running back.
Can I give my Coach of the Year award too? I don't know about the other ones, like the defense.
Yeah, you didn't get. No, you gave. Oh no, who was it? I didn't get it.
So Heisman, I got Aller. Coach of the Year. I guess Coach of the Year, I'm gonna go with Coach of the Year. I'm gonna go with this guy right here, Bill Belichick, because dude, do you see the expectations at North Carolina right now?
They're too high right now.
It's 7-8 or 7 wins or 8 wins. If he leads them to the playoffs, he's a lock to win Coach of the Year. So I'm gonna go with Bill Belichick.
He'll find out the college is different than NFL, though.
Yeah, true.
That's the only problem with it.
Keep in mind about Brent Venables of OU, also Brian Kelly of LSU, and I guess Steve Sarkisian, if they live up to the hype, and Matt Rule of Nebraska really is what a lot of people are making them out to be. Okay,
so the last topic here, the coaches that on a carousel, they're on the hot seat, let's just say, right? How many do you want to give? Or let's say how many are locks to get fired, okay? Let's go with that. So for me, if Auburn has another bad year, Hugh Freeze would have to go.
I agree.
Brent Venables of Oklahoma. I think they're trying to get the right direction, but they're still not where they want to be. You know, they need another coach to get in there. Sam Pittman of Arkansas, again, like we talked about earlier. They're also one of those.
If he wins 7 games, does Pittman keep his job?
No.
You think?
I think they're still high. There's still expectations. Like you mentioned, I think the lock is Mike Gundy getting fired after this year on the 1-year deal. Trent Dilfer at UAB. I forgot he's there. I think he's gone.
He's ruffled a lot of feathers too. A lot of
That's
people
what
like
I've
have
heard.
him
I
not like.
remembered. Sonny Cumbie of Louisiana Tech. I think they would get on a better route there, Louisiana. But those are my locks to get fired if they have bad years. But Gundy and Dilfer are the two that I'm looking at. What about you before we get to the week 1 picks?
I think that it's a couple. I think that Billy Napier of Florida, if Florida underperforms this season,
Ooh,
Jay
okay.
Lagway, I think. I mean, dude, this guy was a lock to get fired last year, but then he miraculously
They had a
saved his
good year.
job. Yeah, and they
Mhm.
had a good year. So, I'm gonna go Napier, Pittman. If Arkansas, wins 3 to 4 games, I think he's gone. I probably would say, sticking with the SEC first, I'm probably gonna go with. I'm trying to think. If LSU has a bad year, do you fire Brian Kelly and eat the
No.
money?
There's still time
Not-
there, I think, for him.
Brent Venables of OU. The thing with Brent Venables, James, is like he's like a decorated defensive coordinator at Oklahoma from the Oklahoma championship days. So they don't want to fire him. They're doing all the best they can to keep him. But I just think that he might be gone. I'm gonna go with Kalen DeBoer. If Kalen DeBoer has a 9-win season or an 8-win
No.
season, I think he's gone, dude. Like I think the pressure is gonna be so
That
high for
much in
Bama.
Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
to make the move. Going to the ACC, probably going to go with. Well, I'm actually going to go around. Luke Fickell of Wisconsin, because Wisconsin restructured his contract. He has to win. He brought in a whole new coaching staff. It's been just not good there in Wisconsin. They missed the bowl game for the first time in over 40 years. So that's definitely trending in the wrong direction there. You look at, I think Sonny Dykes of TCU could be gone if TCU has a bad season. Mike Gundy's
If they have a
lock.
really bad season, yeah.
Yeah, Mike Gundy, I think
Yeah.
is a lock at Oklahoma State. And then I'm gonna say, and I was gonna ask you this earlier. If USC wins 7 games, is Lincoln gone?
I think the money there that he's still owed will be too much for them to buy him out. And I think the only way that he would leave if that Oklahoma job is available again.
You really think he's gonna go back to OU though?
I think that'd be the only spot that I would see him going back to leave USC. But again, I don't think it's going to be that early though. This early in the term. This is what his 4th year, I want to say, or 3rd year.
Yeah. I could see him
4th
getting
year.
Jimbo Fisher. Remember how Jimbo Fisher Texas
Ugh.
A&M like 80 million or whatever to fire his ass?
I know. I just don't see that yet. Maybe when it's 2 years, maybe USC will pull the plug. But again, they're not slated to have a good year anyway. Again, 7 or 8 wins, and that's about it.
Yeah, no, I think he's probably on the hot seat. And then I think the other conferences, I guess Timmy Chang of Hawaii, if you have a bad year, like you got the team ready to win now, if you only win like 4 games, then I think he's probably going to be gone despite being a decorated alumni.
All right, so the week 1 predictions. I guess we could do a recap of last Saturday, the week 0 games, real quick. Iowa State beat Kansas State out in Dublin, Ireland, 24-21. Again, UNLV held on to beat Idaho State 38-31 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas or Paradise, Nevada. Kansas opens up the season well over Fresno State 31-7. And then Western Kentucky defeated Sam Houston State 41-24. And then in your old neck of the woods, Hawaii won on the field goal 23-20 over Stanford. Micah Alejado, which is a name I guess to be looking at, will be had 210 yards passing, some rushing yards as well. A lot of fun that game. Did you just want to predict those on the screen there?
Yeah, we could just predict those on the screen, but
All right,
the
cool.
the graphic that I had actually forgot the OSU game, so shame on them. But we could do the
Oh,
OSU
what the
game.
hell? Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
know
don't
why?
know.
Because that's the ESPN ABC games,
Oh,
not
got it.
not that one. But let's just get to that game first,
Yeah, let's do that game.
since it's not on there, and then I'll look at some other games that'll be on. But really quick on Thursday, let's just go in order, right? Yeah, Boise State 25th ranked at USF. I'm gonna go Boise, I guess. What do you think?
I think. Well, I'm actually gonna go USF. It's muggy there in Florida. USF has a really good offense there. Boise's not used to the heat, not used to the weather, the humid weather there in Florida. I think USF guts out the upset, beats Boise.
That would tell a lot about Boise State right away. It honestly
That's
would if
right.
they lost that game. And then maybe a good pick me up for USF. All right, it'll be Rutgers over Idaho for sure. UCAF is hosting JV State. I don't know who the hell that is. Um, Missouri over whomever. Duke over Elon. That sounds like a 1 versus 16 March
Good
Madness first
Lord.
round game. Nebraska at Cincinnati. Now these are two
That's a
teams
good game.
um, that are trying to get in that top 25 and maybe into the playoff rankings, right? These are, well, Nebraska especially. We'll see how Raiola handles the road game there. I'm going to go Nebraska. What do you say, Isaiah?
Sorry, I was muted, but
Oh, there you go.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Nebraska as well. I think that it's in Kansas City. Isn't it fitting, James, that the guy that wants to be Mahomes is opening up at Mahomes' home at Arrowhead
Wait, that's
Stadium?
at Arrowhead Stadium?
Yeah, that's at Arrowhead
What
Stadium.
the? Why? Cincinnati? Oh, maybe because
I
of
think
Kelsey?
it's like a special like classic or whatever it is. So
The
Nebraska's
hell?
playing Cincinnati there.
That's
Um,
just crazy.
yeah. So wait, did you think it was in Cincy?
Yeah, I thought it was a regular opening game until you said it, and then I looked.
Oh yeah.
Whoops a
Well,
daisy.
yeah, we have it on our little graphic here,
I
but
can't see it.
I'm gonna go with Dylan Raiola and Nebraska. I think Nebraska's too much firepower. I think that Cincy, like, they're a good. I don't trust their offense. I think defensively they're kind of mid as well. So I'm gonna go with Nebraska. I think Nebraska gets off to a good start. I think Raiola gets off
All
to a
right.
good start, and I think that Nebraska airs it out, plays really good defense. I think the Cornhuskers win by double digits.
He would have to show off, right, in that stadium.
Yeah,
Wisconsin, you would think over Miami of Ohio, and then San Diego State will start off with against Stony Brook. They're a Division II school. That's just horrible that they would start off with them. Friday, you have Army taking on oh god, who are they? The
good
Tarleton
God.
State Texans. I forgot their name. Um, Michigan State will take on Western Michigan State or University. That might be an upset there. Who knows?
They could.
Uh,
Michigan State hasn't been good at all recently.
Charlotte hosting Appalachian State. Okay.
And decent
Number
game.
12, Illinois, starting off against Western Illinois, the Leathernecks. Now, that would be a game if Illinois blows them out. You could kind of think that they might be for real. Kansas City will try to go 2-0. I'm sorry, not Kansas City. Kansas will try to go 2-0, taking on the Wagner Seahawks. Of course, Wagner again, part of March Madness. Baylor hosting Auburn. That's a little bit interesting there on Friday. Colorado hosting Georgia
That's a
Tech.
Fox
Now,
game too.
yeah, that's a Fox game for Baylor and Auburn. Kind of wish it was 2011 with those two schools. You had RG3 and Cam Newton. That would have been fun. Colorado hosting Georgia Tech, and again, Georgia Tech, a lot of radar is on them. We'll see if they can handle the pressure. I'd be looking at that game. San Houston State hosting UNLV. We'll see if UNLV will not struggle on the road. San Jose State, of course, I think you went to one of those games last year. They will be hosting Central Michigan. Now, let's get rid of all that crap we just said and get to Saturday's big games. The one not on your screen. Number 1, Texas at number 3, Ohio State. You have 2 freshman quarterbacks that are, man, the pressure's on Arch Manning, right? The pressure is on Jordan Sayin, the other quarterback for Ohio State. These two will be magnified, right away in this game. But it's going to come down to the others and how open Jeremiah Smith can get. For me, I think Ohio State wins at least by 10 over Texas. What do you think?
I think Arch Manning and Texas has to win this game because, like, they are the team that has
Pressure's
the most
on,
experience. Yep. Yeah, they have the most experience. They've got the team that most of their players came back. If they don't win this game, like, that's going to be a major letdown for Texas. I'm going to go with Texas. I just think I don't trust Julian saying, freshman quarterback, first start going up against a tenacious Texas defense. I know Arch hasn't played a lot, but he's played some games in college football, so he knows what it's like. I'm going to go with Texas I think it's going to be like 30 to 27. Like, I think it's going to be a good game, but I think that Texas will be able to run the ball. I think that Arch with his legs will be able to neutralize Ohio State. So I'm going to go with Texas to beat Ohio State in week 1.
That's going to be fun again. Julian Satan. There's so many Jeremiahs out there. Julian. Number 24, Tennessee hosting Syracuse. Everybody else will be watching the Ohio State game other from the people in Tennessee and Syracuse. I think Tennessee blows Syracuse out in that one. What do you think?
You think Syracuse beats Tennessee?
No. Tennessee blows out Syracuse.
Oh, okay. Tennessee blows it.
No way.
Syracuse lost their quarterback and McCord. He's gone to the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the NFL with the Eagles.
Where did he? Oh, the Eagles. Okay.
He got cut, actually, so he's a free agent now.
I'll take him.
But I'm gonna go with Tennessee as well. I think they're more physical. Their passing attack is way better. Their defense is gonna be way better. So I think Tennessee. I agree. I think Tennessee wins by double digits.
All right, 2 schools that are trying to make their way up: Purdue hosting Ball State, Tulane hosting Northwestern. Those are kind of 2 interesting games. Navy hosting the Virginia Military Institution, I think it is. Kentucky hosting Toledo. Boston College hosting Fordham. And then Rich Rod's first home game. West Virginia hosting Robert Morris. They were getting a March Madness school here and there. Indiana, number 20 ranked, will host Old Dominion. Let's see. Penn State hosting Nevada. You got to think that Penn State blows out Nevada, you would say, right?
They have to, but if you're watching this game, that's the highlight game, by the way, James, on CBS. The afternoon game is Penn State versus Nevada. Watch out for Penn State. Penn State struggled to stop mobile quarterbacks, so watch out for Purdy to be able to run the football in that game and have a day running the ball.
I'll check that game out when I'm not watching another one. Georgia, number 5 in the nation ranked. That's right. We'll take our Marshall. But again, number 8 Alabama at FSU. Humid, of course, in Tallahassee. And the pressure is on after a dismal 2024 season last year. I think Alabama easily wins this game. I don't believe in Florida State. What you think?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I think Bama goes into Tallahassee and annihilates Florida State. And speaking of coaches, we talked about that could get fired. If Norvell has another really bad season, I think he's going to be gone, to be honest. I think
No doubt about that.
the pressure is too much.
Oh yeah. Iowa State number 22 will take on the South Dakota, I believe it is. Oh no, South Dakota Coyotes. I had to look that up yesterday. So it'd be interesting to see how much they win that one by. Oregon number 7 ranked will take on Montana State. Oklahoma, number 18 ranked, will take on Illinois State. Upset alert, maybe, maybe not. Iowa hosting Albany. Florida, number 15 ranked, taking on LUI. You have Kansas State, number 17 ranked, taking on UND. 19th ranked Texas A&M taking on UTSA. Vanderbilt taking on CHSO. But I think none of the games compare in that slot time to number 4 ranked Clemson at home taking on LSU number 9 ranked. This is going to be an absolute shootout to me. I would say Clemson holds on barely. What do you think?
I think Brian Kelly snaps his streak of losing on opening day, and I think they go into Death Valley. It's actually the Battle of Death Valley because LSU claims they have Death Valley. Yeah, and then Clemson claims they have Death Valley. So
yeah, okay.
I think LSU wins this game. I think they'll be more physical, but I think this is dead. I'm looking forward to this game because if Brian Kelly wins this game, it will springboard them to a lot of success. If Clemson wins this game, same thing. But I think if LSU loses this game, James, I think it'll be extremely demoralizing for LSU because then you have to play Bama and Georgia and all the or not Georgia, Bama and Texas and all the other teams that you got to play.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that game over the USC Missouri State game, of course. Michigan, 14th ranked, taking on New Mexico. That'll be interesting. Texas Tech taking on the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Ole Miss taking on Georgia State. BYU taking on Portland State. And then later on, SMU number 16 taking on ETAM, whoever that is. ASU number, ASU, you can bet on these games. ASU, but watch the over/under. Number 11 taking on Northern Arizona University, who plays indoors. Cal and Oregon State, just like old times. That'd be the ESPN game on Saturday.
By the way, James, we forgot when we were doing our conference picks, we did forget one non-Power 5 conference, and that is the Pac-2 with Washington State and Oregon State. So
it's Oregon State. There you go.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Wazoo. I don't know about, but like both teams, coaches.
Coaches, Oregon State finally got their stadium done. Remember, one side wasn't done. And they finally got the other side done. It was just weird because Vanderbilt had the same thing last year.
Mm-hmm.
Washington State, by the way, hosting Idaho. Hawaii is at Arizona. That's on TNT.
Yes, sir.
And I'm thinking TNT hasn't had college football in forever since it was TBS. They did have a college football playoff game last year, though. The Fox game will be Utah at UCLA. Huh?
Give me Hawaii in an upset over Arizona. I don't like Arizona. I think Brent Brennan is another.
Arizona will never be good again. If they ever were.
He's on the hot seat there. He was almost one in Arizona before he restructured his staff.
Well, they just care about softball and basketball there, honestly. Washington hosting Colorado State again. Utah at UCLA. So what? Sunday. South Carolina, 13th ranked, hosting Virginia Tech, but that's only the appetizer to the entree. I almost forgot a food there. Number 10 ranked Miami, hosting number 6 Notre Dame. Remember, Notre Dame, I think, won there as the Final Four was happening in that stadium. If they're playing there. Oh, yeah, they're playing there. That South Carolina game, by the way, will be at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, for whoever cares. But this game, dude, oh my God. Miami usually shows up early part of the year, and Notre Dame struggles, remember? At the early part of the year. Anything can give here, but I'm going to go Notre Dame. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Miami. I think Miami's got the advantage at the quarterback position. I think their offensive line would be it's going to be better to weather the storm of the Notre Dame defensive line. But I think this is going to be a really close game. And it's going to be a classic game on Sunday. So if you have nothing to do on Sunday, tune in for this game. By the way, James, if I'm not mistaken,
It's after baseball too. After all the baseball games.
Yeah. ESPN, I think, did a 30 for 30 classic on this Notre Dame Miami rivalry.
Oh yeah, the Catholics versus the convicts. That's all about the Notre Dame people selling these T-shirts, and it was a big deal. So it brings up that heated part of the rivalry that they had back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
They had a big game there. Well, at there was two of them that stood out during that time. Jimmy Johnson, of course, was a coach at Miami, right? And he blew out the Notre Dame. They blew out the Irish in Miami, and they kept running up the score. And it was the last game for that coach before they went back to Lou Holtz. And Lou Holtz, went on to lead them to a victory at Notre Dame over Miami. I think the next year, I want to say, and it was in controversial ways. There was a fumble at the goal line that shouldn't have been for Miami. We'll see if a call somehow goes the way of Notre Dame in this game. It's going to be spicy for sure. As you mentioned, the convicts versus the Catholics. I'm trying to remember what that was called, but that was also in the U, though, in 30 for 30 in that one.
Well,
but
isn't this rivalry renewed now? Like they play each other. I think
since they're both good again, too.
Yeah, they're both good now.
Yeah, that matters. When both teams are ranked and they're good, that matters. Okay, here's the big deal. Everybody's going to be on this. Not really TCU, but what's going on at Chapel Bill? That man there. North Carolina. The Tar Heels taking on the Horned Frogs of TCU. That game on ESPN and ESPNU. First game in Coach Belichick's college career there at Chapel Bill, we'll call it. Actually, TCU, I think, is favored just by 3, I want to say. We'll see what North Carolina will do this year. But how do you see the first game going under Chapel Bill?
Well, I'm excited. That's why I took the day off actually to watch this game, because I was like, you know what? I got to watch North Carolina versus TCU. It's going to be a hell of a game. I cannot wait. I think that honestly, Bill is going to have them any team Bill coaches, they're super prepared and stuff. So Bill's going to have them ready to play. It's going to be a packed house at Carolina. It's going to be a big spectacle because of, College Game Day is going to do a special show from North Carolina on Monday. So I think that North Carolina comes out. I don't really like the TCU team. They're a team that throws it a lot, and there's a team that doesn't really play defense. I think this is going to be more of a shootout. Can Carolina stop that high-powered TCU offense? I think is the bigger question. But I think Bill, his offense is going to be. By the way, James, Bill Belichick's offensive coordinator at North Carolina is Freddie Kitchens. By the way,
wow,
coach. Yeah, so they're going to be running a conservative ground and pound style of offense, but it's going to be that conservative NFL style physical ground and pound versus the college air raid. I'm going to go with North Carolina. I think physicality wins. I think North Carolina will be more physical than TCU, but it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be like that. It won't be as high scoring as that Colorado versus TCU game from back in the day, but I think that Carolina wins probably I'm going to go 27 to 24.
Yeah, I don't have a score because I don't know both schools, but Man, I'm just wondering about all the attention that Belichick has, but then the way that he has to deal with the kids, the students, right? He never had to do that really in the NFL. But now you have to worry about, players making the grades. You have to see if they're going to stay out of trouble, if they're not, betting. So there's going to be a lot on Belichick's plate, especially with his girlfriend that was around. I don't know if she'll be around for the games, but
What is your
go ahead.
expectation for North Carolina, by the way, this season?
I honestly don't know. They're not going to be a playoff team. I know that. Probably like 7 or 8 wins and making a bowl game. I just don't see them like going past that. But you hope that would be the case where they go past it. But I just don't see it. I don't know.
Well, I got them in the playoffs because I think they have an easy schedule. I think they're going to ride that to a postseason berth. And I just think if, like I said, they beat TCU, they have 2 easy games after that. Then they play UCF, which, it's in UCF. It's going to be hot, muggy, but Carolina's got this. UCF is in a rebuild. And then it's that game against Clemson. If they can beat Clemson at home, if they're 4-0 at that time, then I think then that North Carolina will be like blowing up everywhere. But yeah, I can't wait for that game. Like I think that you talk about Deion and Colorado, James, Belichick and North Carolina are about to be Colorado and Deion Sanders 2.0.
That's where you hope to get, I think, if you're Belichick and them.
You think Belichick votes for the NFL, though, if they have a lot of success in year 1?
Yeah, eventually the Giants will be calling.
True.
Eventually. Someone's going to have to be like, hey, we saw what you did, but remember what you did in the NFL. Maybe you want to come back and try it here? But it won't be the same. It would be different talent, though. Anyway, that's been the college football preview of 2025 here on MI6, IM6, MI6 Network. There's 2 of them. Let me give you my final thoughts before I bounce. I can't wait for the Texas-Ohio State game. I'll be checking in on USC later on, but I'll be watching that Clemson, oh God, I'm having a Barkley moment. Clemson LSU game. Just see that shootout. And all year long, I'm high on Clemson. I think people are disrespecting them, not thinking that they're back. But I think with that quarterback, I think they're back. Klubnik. The pressure's on Manning. It's all going to be about the quarterbacks this year. But again, I cannot wait to see my Heisman Trophy winner prediction, Jeremiah Smith, just ball out on all these boys compared to one man. He's going to be the one player I really look out for. So fight on, but still in the wrong conference. It's going to be hell at the Coliseum this year. But man, I'm also intrigued how much Michigan falls this year. That would be a story to look at with the coach there and how many games. I think he's missing the first 3 games of the year too. Maybe there are more that will come out, and we'll see what happens. But there's going to be controversy, but all in all, it should be a fun college football year. Again, I'm hoping Arizona State defies everybody and really shows out. But yeah, it was cool doing this. Eventually, we're going to do the NFL ones.
Yep.
The previews of that coming up.
Can we give an announcement to the world?
Go ahead. You do that.
Yeah, so I guess since we're on the final thoughts and announcements, James and I are going to be doing Extra Point every single Monday night after Monday Night Football. So make sure you guys tune in for that. We'll maybe joined by some other people, but we're going to be Extra Point is coming back. We'll be breaking down the Monday Night Football game, breaking down the games that happened over on Sunday, and then looking ahead to the next week. So that should be a lot of fun. And then we have the 8 divisions and 8 days series that we started. Tomorrow, actually, we're going to be doing double day. So we're doing the NFC West and the AFC West. James, I'm actually going to come prepared because I have a big magazine that I bought today. So I'm finally going to get through some research and cheat
What's
a
a
little bit.
magazine? Everybody else has phones and stuff.
Hey, I'm old school, dude. I'm
Got a
old.
newspaper too, huh?
I do actually.
Man, they
I'm
don't
like
even
Mike.
put the stats in there anymore. It's just
I
featured stories now. It's
that is
worth
true. I
nothing.
know the box scores are no longer in there. It sucks.
That's what I used to like. Literally, I would look at every box score, see who hit a home run, what's the leaders, what's the attendance. That's all gone now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember like, you remember like, did you ever watch that Mike Francesa, Chris Russo, Mike and the Mad Dog 30 for 30? I don't know if you ever watched that one, but
I
I
think I
remember
did.
you
Yeah.
remember Mike Francesa would always come in with a newspaper of like the New
No.
York Post or whatever. Dude, that was like, I miss those days, man. You just get the paper and you just read the sports up. But
All
yeah,
I know how annoying. Can I do it real quick before I leave
Yeah.
my impersonation of Chris Russo?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it on that. Dodgers, Yankees.
All right, man, take it easy. But yeah, man, like I said, we got a lot of exciting shows coming up this year with football season here coming up. It's gonna be great. A lot of fun. Cannot wait. But guys, it's been an amazing college football preview special. Like I said, we were repped from around the globe. Wazoo, Pullman. We had Penn State. We had Hawaii. So we had a lot of fun tonight. But it's going to be a great college football season. Cannot wait to kick it off on Thursday and then Friday and then Saturday, like all weekend. College football is back. Here's an upset, guys. I think Nevada is going to give Penn State a run for their money. I think Chuba Purdy and Nevada will give Penn State a run for their money. And you know what? I'm going to say this right now. Nevada and Chuba Purdy will go into Penn State and rip off the white jerseys of Penn State and beat the Nittany Lions on Saturday afternoon. We'll leave it at that. But guys, it's been a fun show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate John for hopping on with us tonight, as well as my guy James for hosting the program. But college football is back. Here we go. The race to the Natty starts now. It's going to be a fun season. Cannot wait. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the continuation of 8 divisions in 8 days. We're doing the NFC West and the AFC West. It's double day tomorrow night. Cannot wait for it. But until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy 2025 college football season. Here we go, baby. Welcome back, CFB.
Arch Manning steps up, punts, flips it out, wide to Bolden. Touchdown! Lejano. With some time, he's going to throw it deep, has a man wide open, Dakel Crowdis, and it takes off.